You know, after I just did that video, I was like, you know, that Economist cover magazine, remember the 11.5 and the 11.3? Well, Friday the 13th, that's not either of those dates. Even if 11.5 and 11.3, 5 plus 3 is 8. If you even did that, that's 11.8. It still doesn't make sense. So I'm poking around, I'm looking at this thing, and I realize you don't have to add anything. You don't have to do anything other than move some numbers around. Friday the 13th, 11, 13, 15 for 2015, right? Those numbers, they're there. 11, 13, 15. You don't have to do the whole 7 plus 2 equals 9. No, it's right there. It's just scrambled. That's all. 11, 13, 15. And I want you to think about something, especially because for the fact that you didn't have to add this plus that and the 5 plus the 1 equals none of that crap. You don't have to do anything but move the numbers around. There's no other number sequence, period. So you have 2 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, right? 6 digits total. There's only those 6 digits that can make this date work. 11, 13, 15. Sure, you can move them around, but the point is the same numbers are needed. You can move them where you want. But if you change one number, it doesn't make sense. Then you'd have to go back to the old, add the 3 plus the 9 minus the 7 equals 7 plus that is 9, 11. None of that crap. 11, 13, 15. Arrows. Boop, boop. Once again, as I've said this whole time, if I was a member of the club, I would have known exactly what was meant by it. But since I'm not, we can only speculate. And as I said, we will have to look back to figure out what was meant when it happens. Unless it's something that's just blatantly obvious. But there's the numbers. It was the 2015 Economist cover, magazine cover. And the cover in full has some very weird and disturbing things, right? We got nuclear missile launches, actually, let me. I just got another one. Let me move the sandwich out of my face. Just got another one. Let me just take this picture real quick, or add this, I should say. All right, so we're gonna remove that one. And I'm gonna add this piece right here. This is a website. So. See where my mouse is moving? By the nuke going off in the ocean or whatever? And this missile launch of some sort? Didn't we just launch one from the west coast near California, off the coast of California? Did we not just launch one from the water as some kind of display, I guess, to Russia or whoever the hell we were trying to impress or scare away? Are you telling me that the 11.5 thing down here, where my mouse is, as I just explained, move the numbers around, 11, 13, 15, that's the date the Paris attacks happened, okay? You can't use any other numbers. Only those numbers will work, end of discussion. Coincidental chance, add that probability, it's astronomical, period. We also have in the background, right, this missile launch from the, what it looks like from the ocean back there. And then behind it is, it looks like something blowing up in the ocean as well. You can see the little mushroom cloud. And we just launched a missile, Trident missile, from the ocean a matter of days ago. And then right after that, we've got the 11.3 and 11.5 thing, which again, just move those ones around. Boom. 11, 13, 15. This is a Rothschild elitist magazine. That's who's behind this. So as I said, it's hard to tell what's going to happen based off of this cover other than what we're speculating. Which again, is speculation, means nothing. But once something happens, let's go back to the magazine cover, see if something fits. Oh my God, 11, 13, 15, day of the terrorist attack in Paris. Do you think, by chance, these Middle Eastern crazy Muslim crazies could put something out that the Economist magazine would do, and then it tied into the date that these guys randomly chose to do an attack in Paris, France? There isn't a chance in hell. And as Lindsey Williams said, the club has their own little thing that they have to do, where it's like being a good sportsman or something. We got to tell the sheep what we're going to do to them. We love to put it in the movies, things like that, entertainment. We love to use that source. And here is one of the elites magazine, The Economist, that was done in, I think, January of this year. This hasn't changed. Nothing was added. This is it. The world in 2015. So the world in 2015, terror attack in Paris, and there's the numbers on the two arrows. We have a Trident missile launch. Once again, right here, circle that. The world in 2015. Those two things have been seen in 2015. Now, the part that I really don't want to see is the part I'm moving my mouse on now. That little piece back there, I don't really care to see that, to be honest with you. Really don't care. But what else do we see? We see, over here, the masked people or whatever. Where was that one at? Like a terrorist thing or whatever. But yeah, you got the club spokesman, the minions. Obama, you got Merkel. Of course, Putin's over there. Again, again, the world in 2015, right? So we have two things that are notable. If you take out all the people standing in the picture, just take the people out, right? The cat, even the people, Spider-Man, the little girl, and leave the objects. Okay, we got something blowing up in the ocean. We've got a Trident missile launch of some sort there. That really happened days ago. Okay, 11/13. You know what happened just 2 days ago. Get rid of all the people and just look at the events. There's an event this is too small to show you right now, but right here where my mouse is moving by this panda bear, that little board, it basically says it's the Federal Reserve, and it says panic. And it's got this little thing going down, that little ball, I forget what that game's called. So, Federal Reserve and panic. The world in 2015. Not the world in 2016, the world in 2015. Has there been a Federal Reserve panic yet? No, there hasn't. The other day, I did a video, and I said the title was something like, "This bozo actually said this. I thought it was fake. It actually really happened." And it's this moron, Herman, congressman, telling Janet Yellen, the head of the Federal Reserve, "You want to be right with God, don't you? God made the seasons the way he made them, and we're in the fall season. Rates should fall. Rates should not raise in the fall season. That's why God made the fall season. And you want to be right with the man upstairs, don't you? So I'm gonna suggest that if you can hold off till around May, when it's spring, when things do tend to rise, that you do that." And I'm listening to this thinking, what in the hell did I just hear? I said it again. I'll say it again. I was sure it was The Onion doing a spoof. But I knew the guy. I knew that congressman. I've seen him before. The Onion's not going to get a real congressman on there to fake it like they do to do their little spoofs. Oh my God, he really said this. And then I did a quick search. Yes, it's real. He said that. So is Janet Yellen about to raise them rates and cause panic at the Federal Reserve in doing so before the year's out? According to this little board right there, there has to be some kind of panic at the Federal Reserve. So we've got the missile launch, check. It just happened days ago. We have the 11.5 and 11.3, which again move the numbers, becomes 11, 13, 15. Check. And over here, right, it's like we're going into corners. Top right corner, bottom right corner. Naturally, maybe the bottom left corner is next. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing in the top left corner, so I'm just saying that. But again, take the people out and look at the events. What things are the objects on the board? Is there any kind of meaning or whatever, right? Federal Reserve in panic. The Fed is going to panic or cause a panic. We don't know because it just says Fed and panic. It hasn't happened yet. But we just got two things. One of them is pretty much spelled out in your face. 11/13/15. The launch of the missile, just days before that. So if, in my mind, right, is where my mind's going. A few days ago, several days ago, we'll say, Trident missile launch. A few days after that, terrorist attack in France, noted right down there in them arrows. I'm just speculating, but maybe in several days, a week or two, is there going to be panic at the Fed for something that they do or don't do or whatever? Don't know. I don't know. And my mind won't let me forget this. For sure. Webbot doesn't know why, doesn't know how, just knows that it's seeing a huge increase in the price of silver that's going to blow you away. Like, oh my God, I can't believe what I just witnessed. And 4 different Webbot events have happened in the last 2 months. I've covered them. This is like the 5th and final one we are all waiting for. We don't care about any other ones at this point. Silver price is rising. So is the Fed about to cause some kind of panic? And for whatever reason, silver and gold explode. And then the Webbot wasn't really so much on gold. It was silver's what's coming out of this. We had Bitcoin hit the mark that he said to look for, when no one should have even might have considered Bitcoin going up to 408 and then past it. Since the way Bitcoin's been, if you look at history of Bitcoin over the last couple of years, no reason that all of a sudden Bitcoin should be going to 408. Why would he say such a thing? Well, that's because his Webbot doesn't care. His Webbot does what it does and just brings the data back. He interprets it. It tells him, looks like Bitcoin's going to 408 3 times. And the third and final time, it should stay above 408. And that should usher in some kind of triggering of silver. Again, we don't know the reasons why, but it should usher in a huge price pop going up in silver prices. So I just had to remind you of this. There's the cover. I've already covered this cover recently, about a month ago or whatever, trying to decipher what some of this might mean. We have 11.3 and 11.5. We had the Treasury. That's another thing. Remember this. Treasury Secretary. We're going to run out of the Treasury's toolbox is going to be, empty. We originally thought we've moved money and accounting gimmicks to deal with this, but we can't get past 11.5, November 5th, without being in financial trouble. So we really need you Congress people to get in gear and pass a little budget, even if it's temporary, so that we can get going. But that number's been revised to 11.3, he says. We thought it was 11.5 at first. It's now 11.3. So now you have one of the club members speaking it to let all other club members know. Again, if you're a club member and you know the code, you know what it meant immediately. Oh, 11.5 and 11.3. I know what that means. That's the other date, 11/13/15. If you're a club member. But you're not. And I'm not. Boy, do I wish I was for stuff like this, just to have this information. Or if by chance there's any club members out there and you want to just throw me a bone, I'll take it. I'll keep it anonymous. But that's fascinating. Cover of the magazine mentions the numbers 11.3 and 11.5. The Treasury Secretary of the United States of America comes out. Originally, our estimate was 11.5. We forecasted 11.3. You got to be kidding me. Huh. What happens in Paris, France? 11/13/15. Again, just move the numbers. Forget 11.5 and 11.3. Move the ones around. 11/13/15. In your face, right? I mean, it's right there. It's crazy. It really is. It's crazy. But what's next? Again, I think I know what's next. Federal Reserve panic. I think that's what's next. Federal Reserve panic. Remains to be seen what it is. Everyone's saying Janet Yellen, she's going to go negative with the interest rates. And I'm telling you, I'm feeling that there's going to be a surprise. And that surprise might be that she does, in fact, raise them interest rates, causing the markets to crash because of it. Or at least that's what they'll use as an excuse. and that will cause the panic at the Fed all of a sudden. Bad decision, as the webbot also said, would be coming late November to early December. A bad decision by the Federal Reserve. Didn't know what the decision would be, but the webbot data says a bad decision is coming very soon, before the end of this year. Okay? And that little board down there says, panic at the Fed, the world in 2015. I got a sneaky suspicion we're not going to have to wait too long to find out what this is going to be. Take care.